Welcome, everybody, to the Boom and Freezer Show, and I am so pumped up. I'm your host, Scott Frost the Freezer, and I got my man, Bobby Boom, right over there, and we have a couple of special guests with us. That's right. It's Hilltop Promotions. It's Steven and Joey, and I got to tell you something. These guys have been with us since last season, and now they are the title sponsor of this season. So if you're watching the show, please do not go anywhere, and please, for us, share the show. Subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing. In talking about Hilltop Promotions, it's one table, two players, one winner. It's Feder Gorst and Shane Bamboni, July 11th and 12th, over 2 days in a race to 50, 25 each day. You're invited. If you're invited, you can come. If not, you get to watch it for free on Railbirds TV. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much.
Hey, Scott, how are you, man?
How you guys doing?
So, all right, what's up, Steven and Joey? How's everything going?
Good, Bobby. How are you, man?
We're good. We're super excited to have you guys on the show. We got a lot of things to talk about. You know, love the shirt you guys are wearing. Hilltop Promotions looking good out there. Well, let's jump right into it, man. Hilltop Promotions. Let's talk a little bit about it. What's this all about? Where did this come from? You know, where did it originate from? What did you want to do?
So the whole vision of Hilltop came from Joey has a relationship with Tommy Kennedy, and Tommy lives down near him, and Joey has opportunity to sometimes play with him, and then we saw back in the day with Tommy and playing Johnny Archer in the U.S. Open, and the Cinderella story. That whole thing was very inspiring to us. So we've noticed that these guys are still out there, these legends, and they're still out there doing this thing. And it's hard. It can be a tough road for these guys. And we thought that, as a promotion company, we can set up a situation where with the legends and the elite guys that we can offer a really, really great opportunity for these people to come out, and these players, and have people in the pool world to come and see these really high level matches and these great players, and offer them some nice prize money. And we want to make sure that they don't have to spend a lot of money to do this thing. We want to give back to these pool players who have been dedicated their lives. And Scott knows too the dedication it takes to be a high level player. And, we want to make sure that we're out there, and we want to provide a really nice situation for these players, and the players camp too, not just the players. There's a lot of people, there's a team involved behind these players. And it's really important to us that, we're able to kind of provide that situation for them.
Yeah, Joey, you're gonna get a chance too, and I got to just say real quickly, I touched on this before. I've touched on it on Facebook. I don't know if it's been. I don't know if you guys even know how long it's been, but it feels like it's been 8 to 10 months ago. I got a phone call from you guys, and time goes so quick. Who knows? Maybe it was longer than that, but it's probably around there. And I got a phone call from you guys. I didn't know the number. I think I got a text first, and then we put together a call, and it did not take me but about 30 seconds to realize, I've dealt with a lot of people. It took me literally no time to realize that you guys were not only good people, truly, truly good people. And that's what I try to tell everybody, is that you're just truly down to earth, good people, working class people that have wanted something your whole lives and are able to do it, and you're in positions to do it. But then the second thing I realized is how serious you were. Because I've heard it all kind of in my career, and I was just really pumped at whatever you guys wanted to do, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but it morphed into some type of a Legends event to now we're having two of the best players to ever walk the face of the planet, and I'm sure we'll get back to the Tommy Kennedys, because this guy was a superstar and such a great guy and great player as well, and who knows, we'll talk about juniors at some point maybe, but what you guys have done, I just wanted to thank you. And I'm really grateful to just play a small role in this. I know Bobby's the same, and we're grateful for what you've done for the show and what you're going to do for the players.
Well, I mean, the feeling is kind of mutual. When we hung up with you, we called each other, and we felt the same way. Like this the guy, we want to be dealing with. We felt the energy and the passion, and we knew we were with the right person.
Thanks, Joey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we really appreciate you, supporting the show and everything. And Joe, we know you played a lot younger. What does this Hilltop Promotions mean to you? I mean, what you're doing is just unbelievable.
I mean, it really does mean a lot. In the early '90s, I started playing pool, snookers, the original snookers, and after 3 years of just living and breathing pool, it was life and death for me. I mean, it was so. And I watched Scott, how he walks around the table, how he starts the balls. He's like a predator out there. And that's how it is. That's how it is. And then I end up taking off and going to Amsterdam and meeting Steven over there. And I took 20 years off the pool. I thought it was all, you know what I mean? And come back like this is kind of fairy tale-ish a little bit, But yeah, I came back in a way that I never expected, and it feels great.
So you and Joey, or excuse me, you and Steven met, and just so everybody knows, that's Joey Furtado and Steven Tucker. You guys met how long ago, and where did you meet, and how did you meet?
Good, Steven.
Yeah, so we met in wow.
Summer 1995.
In Amsterdam in 90 what?
1995, the summer.
95. We were young men. Look, and we were out there. We both ended up going to Amsterdam in the Netherlands from different places, but it was pretty much for the same reason. But we got over there and we met each other over there, and it was very interesting because we were young men. It was it was a lot of hand to mouth situation on a daily basis. We didn't have anything. We didn't have a lot, and we connected with each other. So we grabbed onto each other while we were there, and we supported each other for the next few. I was there for probably 3 years straight, and Joey and I, we attached our wagons to each other, and we had a great time. We were able to kind of navigate being in a different place in a different country. And then and like I mentioned before, when I met Joey over there, one time he asked me we're like, hey, let's go out and we're gonna go play pool. And so I'm like, all right. And I had no idea the guy even knew how to even probably hit a ball. And I sat there almost the entire night. I mean, it was ridiculous. He didn't let me play, and I was so impressed.
So we used to play at this Seymour Likely place. There was a bar with it was a restaurant and bar with a 9-foot pool table in there. And so we started playing on that, and then we would experiment and go around to Amsterdam. But they had this amazing place. I think it was on the Keizersgracht, and it was 4 or 5 4 floors, I guess, and then each pool table was in a room by itself. So you rent a room with a pool table and you shut the door, so it's a private room with your friends, and kind of unique, very, very, very cool spot. All these places was great, and yeah, it was nice. Yeah, he learned how to rack the balls. He did.
Yeah, I am a professional.
He became a very good racker.
Professional racker.
Yeah.
Well, when I played Tommy the other night, we probably played 100 racks, and I'm a professional racker. I promise you. Tommy put it to me.
Tommy will do that. Tommy will do
that. Yeah, he doesn't go easy on it, that's for sure.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
That's something about this sport, right? You can get two guys totally different. Joe's, experience in the game. Steven comes in just playing the game a little bit, but you both can have the best time in the world, right? Hang out.
Oh yeah.
And fall in love with it, right?
Bobby, you're so right about that. That's why I love the game so much. It is just like that. You explained it perfectly.
I know. I know Scott has a different aspect to it, right? When you're playing on the road all the time, Scott. Let's talk a little about your career, Scott. Growing up on the road, these guys hanging out playing pool. When you're playing, Scott, Is it different when you're playing top level competition? Is
Yeah,
it
I mean,
enjoyable?
you talk to any of the guys that do it for a living. Once you start really doing it for a living, the first few years is a lot of fun if you're winning, right? If you're not winning, I really feel for the guys that are just below the top players, because if you don't, I mean, it's common knowledge, and I think that's one reason these guys are doing what they're doing. But if you're not finishing, and let's be realistic, in the matchroom events, if you're not finishing top 10, you are definitely losing money.
And out of pocket.
Yeah, out of pocket. And now, luckily for a lot of these guys, but once again, it goes hand in hand, right? If you're winning, you're going to get sponsors that give you more money. I kind of wish it was where there was some type of a gauge where you could take the guys that are just outside, like 9th through 24th, those type of guys, and really put the sponsorship money towards, because those are the ones that need it more than the guys that are winning. So there's so many ups and downs. And when I was playing, Bobby, that there wasn't what there is now. You can play the matchroom events, you can play the Predator Tour. Listen, you can play year round now if you really want to, and they're pretty big events. But once again, it's tough on a lot of the guys. I see a lot of the guys, and it's the same look I see on their face at every event. They're tired, and they're not like it's a job. It's a job. I'm not going to like get dark about it, but it can get tough.
And to add to that, so these stories that Stephen was talking about earlier with Tommy, so we'd go play and we'd be talking on the phone, or so he'll drive from Florida to Carolina for a 2-day event to win $1,000.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, so that's why we're doing this. I mean, I know we have a nice elite kickoff with, SVB and Federer. I mean, and this is great. It's great for the company and for the promotion. But the real reason is, and we really want to do exactly what Scott said. The guys that are just outside, the money to help them make a living doing this. We want to be able to provide that. And I don't think we've told anybody this, but we set Tommy up for the year, just because. I mean, what a great guy! And
Steven, I don't mean to interrupt you, but why don't you just tell that story if you don't mind? I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but you told me the story. If you don't mind telling that story, I think that just kind of gives a clue to who you guys are.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Joey started that story. Is we've been talking to Tommy, and we know what he's out there. He's grinding. He's been doing it for a living. He loves the game of pool, and he loves everybody in the game of pool. And he was such a kind person. So there came a time where we were gonna have him do our first match. And it just didn't work out that way, and he was still out there grinding. So we brought him into Hilltop, and we told him, look, make the dream schedule for you this year, and let us know what it looks like money wise for you. And he put together his dream schedule for the year, and we immediately said, we're your sponsor for the year. We pass that money on to him to make sure that he can go do every tournament that he dreamed about this year, and he's doing it, and he is loving it. And the funny thing is his game is getting real. It's getting tight, man. I mean, he's a great player, but his game is elevated. He's playing better players than he was last year. And he's realizing that he's putting the time in and figuring out how to beat these higher level players and in these higher level tournaments. And I mean, we're so proud that we're able to do that for him. And, he's not going to be the only one. I mean, if we have the opportunity to be able to do that with other players and, make a good, they're going to make a good life for themselves. We just want to support them.
Yeah, I don't know, Bobby. I think it's amazing. When you first told me this story, it just goes to show. So that's really the dream for a lot of the guys in Tommy's era, even my era, right? That are still committed to try to play, and they're the guys that are getting overlooked. a little bit, right? And
They are.
it's not really. I don't want to say it's not fair, but people feel like their time has come and gone, and when in reality it probably hasn't. And since Tommy's playing with these top guys and he's mixing it up more, he's only going to get sharper as long as you continue to do it. And most people run out of money, right? So if you guys put him in for this next season, which is or this season, that's what it's all about, dude. That's so freaking cool, if you ask me. I love it.
Yeah.
It frees him up mentally.
yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have to worry about. He's got a family to provide for, you know. And then if you come outside the money, you just blew. How much money did you just blew? You know that you could have fed your family, and so there's a lot of pressure that these guys are feeling, and now he's able to play without that pressure. And if more players were able to play without that pressure, you know.
Yeah,
No.
there's a freedom to that for the players, and doing that. And if we could just provide that to one or two or three people, however many, even if it's just one, we feel great about it.
You should. You should.
Yeah.
I think that's fabulous because exactly what you're saying. It's like even the young players or even the veteran player, when they win that first big event, right now they don't have to worry as much, right, about the money that you're offering now. Maybe without the big win, to have that backup behind them gives them a little more confidence, and they don't have to sweat it as much. They just got to sweat the competition and not their wallet as much, and that's fabulous.
Yeah, Bobby, one of the things is now, and this is what I was telling people, is like, listen, I'll say it, and it's off the schedule this year, unfortunately, due to our world problems, because Saudi Arabia has canceled all sports. But when Federer won the world championships 2 years ago, and I was 10 feet from the table when he won it, listen, these guys know if you win, and this happened for Jason Shaw, if you win one major through Matchroom, you're pretty much set for quite a while, because the sponsors will come because of the exposure they give. But that just adds more pressure to these guys that continue to get 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. It just adds more pressure, right? And if you don't get that major under your wing, then it just builds more pressure. So I think it's a really good thing.
I know you talked a lot about Tommy and Kenny. You think we're going to get him in a match? Who would your ideal match for Tommy to be in the Hilltop Promotion ring? If you had to pick one player that Tommy would play, who do you think it would be?
So Joey and I just talked about this last night. I think we would love Joey. You say it. You know who it is.
I mean, it would either be. I mean, it's an Earl Strickland or a Tommy Kennedy. I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. And then at this point, I think, we were talking to Earl about setting up that straight pool league. He wants to set up this straight pool thing on a 10x5, and we talked to him, and we want to kind of facilitate that fan and start his vision of that thing and kind of let him go on that. And then we were thinking maybe we'll take Efren Reyes and Tommy Kennedy. They play, and then maybe have a Johnny Archer playing the winner of that. Just ideas, throwing ideas, and then maybe have an Oscar Dominguez playing the winner of that.
Oscar's in his prime.
Dude, I tell you.
Well, I know Oscar's probably a ball ahead, but there's.
Yeah, I think if we could do Tommy and Efren as our first Legends match, I think that would be great. What a great match that would be. I think it would be fun for the world to see it. And I think those two would just really also, the spirit of those two players, bring them together and let them play each other. I think it'd be magic.
I'm with Joey. I'm with you. I think it would be. I think it'd be a great thing for the legendary players, and I think it'd be really good for the possible future for the guys that want to come up and challenge them. So
yeah.
What are we thinking for Hilltop? You're talking about the seniors thing. You think you would do it the same way we're doing it with the SVB Federer match? Would it be King of the Hill, winner stays on, and you keep bringing players on? Is that the plan?
Yeah. Of course.
Absolutely. I think the King of the Hill for that.
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
we were talking about, and Bobby, you're a bit of the inspiration of this. We talked about even the juniors and the women's players. I mean, I
Yeah.
think we should be a well-rounded promotional group for pool, and just be able to have all the facets. That's all. I think that's all of them. You bring the elite players in the world, then you do a Legends series, you do a junior series, and you do a women's series, and do a King of the Hill for all of them, and just kind of see how that plays out.
And ultimately, King of the Hill worldwide can get other continents involved, and really try to bring this, to the world.
But I
Busy.
can tell you
We'll be busy.
how I see it playing out, Scott, and everybody. Right? You're talking what we're doing here is what you're doing is a free stream for everybody to see. Some of the elite players, and like we said, like Scott said, maybe even the secondary players, though, but to go viral, right? Everybody's going to see it, and you guys are saying for free. You're not charging. There's no pay at the door. Everybody's going to get to see it, and that's what Hilltop Promotion is all about, right? Is getting the women, the children, everybody watching this sport.
Yeah, well, yeah, you reach more people for free. For sure,
Yeah.
we want to grow the sport. This is a sport. It is not a game, and so to grow it, I mean, we have to reach as many people as possible.
Yeah, and Joey and I were just talking about it the other day, and I had a nice analogy that we brought it across was, hey, on Sunday during the NFL, they don't make you pay to watch that.
Right.
And that sport is humongous and growing, and it's the same with world soccer. You don't have to pay to watch these major sporting events they're worldwide, they're huge, and the people that are I got to stop from saying that. Asking the fanfare to pay to watch it will diminish the sport, and we want to grow the sport, and we want to, and it has some good legs. There's a ton of great players out there right now. So the deal is hey, it needs to be offered to the fans, to the pool world, to all to the world, and we may be able to capture new pool fans and new people in the world that will love the sport. But you have to put it out there, and you can't ask people for money to watch it. It doesn't make sense to us.
Yeah, and I'll add this though. We're not knocking a company like Matchroom that does have a very reasonable subscription for the production that they charge.
Yes.
I mean, they have a big production, but what you guys are doing is totally different situation, right? So what you're doing is a similar. Dennis Orcolo and I played for 200,000 many years ago. We did it for free. Efren Reyes and I were really the pioneers. I just shared that shot on my Facebook page. And
That was
I
awesome, by the way. That was awesome.
You turned around as soon as you hit it.
He did, right? That ball was at the first, and he was.
It was still center table, and he turned around.
Yeah. My point is, though, it's really about back then we gave that away, right? And that's
Yes.
me and Efren when
Yeah.
I was really playing okay, right? So I think when you have something organic like this, it's vital that it's, even if it's not organic, if we had just this company here and we're streaming it and we develop a big fan base and then all of a sudden decide to charge, I don't think that's ever right. I just don't think that's ever right, in my opinion.
I agree with you, Scott, and I think that's why you when we started talking to you about it, that you aligned with us so well, because I think you've participated in the trying to grow this sport and put it out there, and it's a good alignment between a lot of people here.
I got to talk about NM Billiards. That's right, Nick Marino Billiards. What he does is for the East Coast, he delivers pool tables, refills pool table, fixes pool table. He does tips as well. He does everything. He's nonstop, one of the hardest workers there is. Not only that, he runs Greater New Haven APA. He is the director of it. So if you want to join a team or anything to do with APA in this area, check him out. Again, it's NM Billiards, and it's Greater New Haven APA.
When you think of leaders in the industry and you think of chalk, you think of Town Billiards. Check them out. They have more than just chalk. It's townbilliards.com. Are you going to join the Legion? That's right. Jason Shaw, Rodney Morris, Earl Strickland. They have, along with myself, check them out, qarmor.com. If you want to feel comfortable and protected while you're playing pool, this is a line you must check out.
Let's talk a little bit about the big match. All right. It's only, I mean, by the time this airs, it's probably going to be less than a month away. You're going to have your first match at Hilltop Promotions, Shane Van Boning versus Fedor Gors. And, you know, I expect a great match. I expect thousands, maybe millions of people to watch. I don't know if it's going to get up there, but I think it is. How excited are you, Steve, and then Joe, about this match with these two major players?
Oh, I can't even tell you how excited I am about this. It's it. I think I mentioned this before. I might have mentioned it to Scott and Joey. I don't think that I'll be able to enjoy it until it's over. I have a to-do list like Joey does, a mile long to make sure that everybody has the best experience through this match. But to be able to watch 2 days of these players playing head to head, you know, in this small venue, this is old school. This is what I imagined happening back 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, that these head-to-head matches with this big stakes were happening in these little buildings and these little areas, and only people that are really into it got to go and see the match. That, like, I'm so nostalgic. I'm a historian. I love historic things. And that part of pool, I want to draw that back. And SVB and Feder to be our two players for that, it's a blessing. It's amazing. So I'm overly excited probably about it.
Joey, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, again, shifting gears to this match, I mean, we didn't see this coming. This wasn't even on our radar, and then it just kind of fell in our laps, kind of. And you
I
know,
don't think any of us, right? I don't think any of us. I don't think any of us really saw this.
not at all.
No.
And
We
now
were
that
initially
it's happening,
yeah.
now that it's happening, I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's fairy tale-ish. And then now, you know, it's great that, you know, you ask the fans who they would want to play the winner, and the majority say Joshua Filler, and I couldn't agree more with that. That would be an amazing person to have play the winner, and so it seems like everything is just falling. The pieces of the puzzle
Josh has
just
got to
falling
say
into
yes.
place.
Though. He's got to
What's
say
that?
yes. Josh has to say yes, though.
Yeah,
That's
of
right.
course. Of
Well,
course.
it's out in the ether now, Scott.
Yeah.
It just got put out there.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, if you're listening, get ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, they spend a lot of time in America. This will be easy for them.
Yeah.
They just got here.
Feeling he'll play. The reason it goes a lot deeper than that. You know, the thing is with these top players, not so much the players that are kind of out a little bit nowadays in my era and a little later, but the guys now, they all have some type of history with one another. They know each other, you know, they bond very well. These players can relate with one another. They truly trust each other because they know that they're around each other for the same thing, right? They're not around each other for one buddy using another buddy or anything like that. So they all have history. And guess where I'm going with that is this. Everybody, and I've kind of known about this behind the scenes, everybody's wanted to see Federer and Filler, or everybody's wanted to see Shane and Filler playing 9-ball. And there's been one reason or another, and I'm not going to highlight what that is. And I don't think it was a problem from either side personally. I think there was more logistical things and business things that kind of got in the way. The beauty of what you guys are doing, in my opinion, is the fact that this is kind of like let's just call it an independent contractor, right? This is kind of like a 1099. They can come in from every side and really not have any commitment here, right? They can come in and play, and then they can go do what they do. And I think really the best stage for both of them, whoever that is, to really perform and then go about their business. I think it's as good as it gets.
I couldn't agree more.
Great point, Scott. And even like Joey and I were talking about, even with the production team and everybody with the moving forward with this match and the next match, like there's it's easy for everybody. There's no restrictions. There's no real rules about this. The whole thing is organic. And then, like you said, everybody's kind of independent coming in and having fun. And that was a good way of putting it, Scott, that it may be able to facilitate those dream matches, the filler and whoever the winner may be. So I like
think so. I think so, because another reason is that there's no, and I don't see it happening. There's no real bad, and I don't want to use the word bad blood, but there's no tainted water with this company or that company, or I'm playing for this brand and he's playing for this brand. There's none of that. They're just coming in to play here, and then they go back to what they do. And I think that that's really the purity and innocence of Hilltop Promotions. I think I think that's key to keep that alive. And I think that that's what you guys have always, whether you knew it or not at the beginning, I think that's kind of what you guys were always really looking for and what you want.
Yeah, that's exactly true. That's very humbling too. I appreciate that. That's a good piece of framework you just put out there for Hilltop.
Yeah, appreciate it. That's what I see it as. That's what I see it as. Yeah.
And another good thing about it too is we talked about is you're paying for the players to go there, right? Scott already talked about it. If you don't come in the money, or Joey talked about it too. If you just make the money, you broke even at best. You probably lost a little bit. What Hilltop Promotion is, and what they're doing is they're not saying we have to sell 100 subscriptions to pay you $5,000. You have to sell this much to get this. You're getting paid to go there. Winners getting $20,000. Staying there to continue, and who knows? Maybe 100,000, maybe 200,000. Depends how good you are and how well you're going to play. So that's what makes this, I think, different in the way it's supposed to be, right? That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, good point, Bobby. I mean, that is we're gonna make sure that we don't want anybody that is coming to this match as production, promotion players. We really don't want anybody to come out of their pocket to come do this. We want you to just come here, enjoy it, and never worry about any of that stuff. And that's been a big goal of ours throughout that, and we'll continue that. And we have, at the same time as, this first match, we have no sponsorship. We have not pursued any sponsorship. Doesn't mean we don't want it. But we have not pursued it, and for the reason of we want to make sure that people understand that our vision is genuine. That we're willing to put up to make sure that everybody understands this is real. This is the real vision. This is how we really see it. So it's important.
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. I might as well highlight on this. I'm sure people are wondering, right? And we talk about not talking about it. We talk about talking about it. And the details are this, and I hope you guys don't mind, but it is what it is. I don't feel like it's an exhibition match. The loser gets $5,000 plus expenses, and the flight is like first class. Okay, Stephen's not like cutting any corners. They're well taken care of. The room's paid for, first class flight with his guest, and $5,000 to come play for 2 days is great. $20,000 to the winner with an opportunity to continue on and make more money, right? And this is a 2-day deal. I can tell you this: when I called Federer, he said, "Of course." His first words were, "Of course I'm in." When I called Shane, "Of course I'm in." Like there's something to that, right? So I don't want people to feel like this is just an exhibition. If you understand elite players and you understand their mindset, they could be playing for a literal peanut. If they're playing each other, they're going to try and rip each other's heads off. And that's just the way it is. These guys, that's what they do. They're in their prime. They're the best athletes in the world at this sport. And so if you think it's not for nothing, Trust me, it's for everything. And it really is. And we'll know that. You'll know that the minute they strike the first ball, and Carl Boys and I are there in the commentary booth, and you can cut the tension with a knife, because that's what happens every freaking time. So it just is what it is. The money is a bonus. It's a bonus.
It helps that Coach Johan will be in the audience and be attending to put a little more pressure on the boys.
Yeah, you'll have to be there for sure. Yeah.
That's a good point, Joey. I love it. And look, we're already starting to see it. You know, we got the travel plans going with the players, and now it's, hey, what's our practice schedule? What can we get on the table? Like, look, these guys are starting to. They're starting to develop their tactical way to get to win, because that's what they want to do. And they're both starting to talk about it through conversation with us. And this is the fun part. You know, it's how, you know, how do I win? How
Yeah,
am I going to do that?
I told Fitter, he was asking about the practicing schedule. I told him today, texting him, I said, well, whoever lands first gets the first session.
Yeah, the venue is nice because we're going to give them 24/7 access to it. They're going to come in a couple days, 2 or 3 days before the event, and we're just going to give them full access to the venue and 24/7. You guys go in there anytime you want, but let's make sure you guys don't run into each other unless you want to. That's a different story. I'd always that would be interesting, but I'm not sure.
They'll run each other all the time.
They're friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll figure out a schedule.
Yeah. So, but
I like
I'm excited to kind of see the process starting in their minds. It's like, oh, I need to get ready for this match. Like, they know their opponent can, you know, tear it out of them if they're not ready. I love this part of it.
What table are we using again?
Yeah.
Let us really know what table is going to be at the venue.
So we have a Rassen, a Victory Gen 3 table. It's great because right now I have Mark Gregory and Bobby. He's from, I don't know his last name. He's from Predator. Those guys are over there right now at the venue. They're refelting the table. They're getting the Simonis 860 HR on it. They're rewrapping all my bumpers. It's a brand new table. It's a beautiful table, the Rassen Victory. And it is a true 4.5-inch pocket. I know Shane will like that. And the table is beautiful. It's going to be set up by the best table mechanics in the U.S. And
Mark Gregory is by far the best.
by far. And Bobby, his partner that has come in, that very impressive, those guys. So they're over there setting the table up as we speak. I had to walk away and tell them, hey, I got a podcast with Scott Frost. I'm going to have to leave you guys. I'll be back. So
I'm just glad to get Mark with you guys, because I knew you'd like Mark, and Mark is he's a perfectionist like you guys are, and I think that that's a perfect fit. And I know that Shane and Fetter will be satisfied knowing that Mark is overlooking the table just to make sure it's
that's it.
Because what people don't realize, and I grew up around Mark, is Mark was an elite player himself, and and you know, he was a great player, but also a perfectionist in what he does.
Yeah. So and thank you for that connection. And it is, and I can tell Mark and I are probably going to continue. I mean, there's going to be a relationship here.
Sure.
It took us 10 minutes and we started talking, and it was not even about this table or this event.
Yeah. Yeah. He's great.
Yeah, so I'm very pleased. But it's a beautiful table. We're going to be ready to go with it.
Nice. And we said we got about 40 live people is going to be there for the first event. Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah,
40?
I think we're going to have 35 to 40 people inside the venue. And then, I think that's going to fill that space. And, you know, and everybody, it's all invitation at this point. And we're really, really pleased with the group of people that we have coming in there at this point.
Yeah, we were speaking about this last night, and how we're creating a special, unique environment for these players and the people in attendance to kind of let their guard down. You know what I mean? This is going to be kind of unique and kind of friendly and personable, and and hopefully, everyone's going to let their
Yeah.
guard down and play better pool, and it's going to be, we're trying to create that special environment where everyone feels it. That's there. They're going to feel what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
think
go
ahead,
ahead,
sorry.
Scott. Go ahead,
Well, I
Scott.
was just going to say, I think the special guests for this intimate venue is important. Ivan Lee, the North American CEO of Aramith and Simonis, a longtime friend, mentor, and partner of mine. It will be there, which says a lot, right?
Mhm.
And Ivan Lee, Johan Reising, but then Dave and Leah Bartosiak with Classic Billiards, and nobody else doing more for pool than that guy. So I think that just the invitations alone, I think, kind of just sets up for a really, really special event.
I agree. I heard this guy Bobby Hilton's coming too. Somebody
Yeah.
told me about that
Baby.
too.
Automatic.
It's great because Joey and I were talking about it, and it was, I call it, I want the people in the pool world that have, people have pool rooms and they have, significance, and they're coaches and they're really, really involved in this pool world. I want them to mingle. Like what event, you can't go to I love the Moscone Cup, and I love these, you can go to the Derby, and you can go, I mean, there's several days and they're huge venues, but these people don't have the opportunity for 2 days to mingle with each other in a small area, in an intimate situation. I think it's good. I think it's good for all of us to be able to kind of put our guard down and mingle and talk with each other. And I really do. I think it's a special energy that we'll have there.
I agree 100%. And what Scott said, of course, Ivan Lee, a partner of mine as well, great guy. And then we also talked about Dave Bertosiak over there at Classic Billiards, right? He's an awesome guy. Shout out to Classic, one of our sponsors here, of course, on the Bowman Fraser Show, Classic Billiards, Fort Lauderdale. But thinking about like Dave and then now you guys, right? Everybody seems like you guys are coming together. Do you think this is going to bring more people to get involved in this sport? Because like Scott was saying, Dave really did a lot for it. Now, what you guys are doing, do you see what you guys are doing can bring other people involved to help this sport get to where it needs to be?
We were just talking about this last night. Yeah, I think we're hoping that more people see what we're doing, and just try to give. They see what we're trying to do, trying to give instead of take. And then, we have more promoters out there giving more and taking less. Things are a lot better for the players and everybody involved, I think.
Yeah, and I do want to be clear with that, though, right? You have to have a pro tour where they've got to be able to make a living.
Of course.
And they're not, I can speak for both these guys. They're not talking about the big tours. They're not talking about that. What we're talking about is the mom and pop stuff. And I'll especially say it's the mom and pop stuff. We understand you got to make money, but if you want to make money, there's really creative ways to make money, right? If you're streaming a tournament or streaming a match, I've done it my whole career. I've found special ways to make money, but not sucking it out of the public. That's the key. And I think that's really where it's at.
Or the players, Scott, also. I mean,
Of course.
it can be they can dig into the players' side of that money too, promoting that kind of stuff. So I agree, both public and players, that is our focus, to make sure that they are all treated really properly through this.
With you two, with you and Joey, Stephen and Joey, and that's one of the reasons I wanted Dave to come, is I just wanted you guys to meet each other. If nothing ever comes of it, but I had Ivan and Dave meet. I think that's just a really powerful circle of people, really good people that are doing great things for the sport. And David Lee being there will be really exciting as well, because he's not bashful and he will definitely be yelling and screaming, feeling both of those guys on.
Yes, he will.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
And I
that
mean, I've even invited, go ahead.
Sorry, Steve. I was saying, is that the kind of excitement we want for this event? Anybody wants to cheer, make noise, have like Moscone-ish, but have a good time, right?
Yes. Yeah. Be you. That's
Yeah.
that's all we want.
love
We feel, I think we should all be comfortable in our own skin and inside that venue, and all just be yourself during it. That would be the most important thing.
You know, it's been organic, it's been authentic, and we want to just keep moving forward with that theme. And everything has happened like this. So we haven't forced anything. There's been no stress. It's been just so everything's falling in our laps so far. It's been like that, and we, you know, as long now we want to put an event where everything is authentic and the players can be authentic, the guests can be everybody just be themselves. There's no pressure about sponsorship and this, and you can't say this on TV or I might lose a spot. Just everybody be yourself.
Yeah, remember that, Scott. You can be yourself. All right.
Yes.
I let it go. I let it go. I don't want to get fired.
You can't get fired from this. I'm telling you.
We'll have some fun. We'll have some fun. I mean, I think that yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, we want fun. I think Carl and
I think Carl's going to be able to really let him, let his hair down, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah.
He's got a sense of humor. That man is funny. So I hope that man has a couple of maybe sips of whiskey.
Oh,
and
no,
then
let's
loose a little bit or whatever. But he's funny, man. I'm looking forward to what that man has to say.
Yeah, there's no censorship. There's no rules in this, and there's no sponsors to fire anybody. Look, this is going to be fun for y'all. All right.
Excited. Yeah, Carl and I will vibe off each other quite well. We have to.
Yeah. You guys definitely do that.
We're working for Matchroom. We've got to mute it quite a bit because we'll say things kind of like in code people don't know, and we just start dying. And
I got to
fun.
Yeah, I want to take the time real quick, say thank you guys very much. I think this is huge what you guys are doing. Dave over there, Petrosiak, went in with you guys. Like I said, everybody, I can see it getting higher and doing bigger things. I just want to say thank you guys. You guys are awesome and great job. Keep that up. I want to make sure I said that before we finish the show. Obviously, we're not done yet, but I want to make sure we said that to you guys.
Thank you,
Bobby. Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right, Joe. Let's talk a little bit about you mentioned snookers a little bit when you were younger. How much did you play over there in Rhode Island at snookers? It's a great place over there.
I'll tell you what, I was so lucky to get introduced to pool. I think it was late 91 or early 92. I walked in there and buying the pool tables and just couldn't believe my eyes. And I walk into the end table all the way in the back, and it was my buddy, Ray Andrews. Ray, he's like, Joe, and it just started from there. I ended up living with him for the next 3 years, and he was one of the most natural pool players ever. And I think it took me like 2 years to win a set from him. And he had a Gold Crown 3, and we had a studio apartment with, so it was just.
Hold on a second. Did you say you had a Gold Crown 3 in a studio apartment? Is that what?
Yeah. Well, Ray did. Ray. Yeah. And then we were living together. So yeah, it was in Providence, Rhode Island, and it was above a market where it was Hell's Angels owned the market. Yeah, and it was really wild. It was their clubhouse kind of thing, and it was more musicians rented these spaces to play music, and we just had a pool table, and it was pretty intense. But I would practice all day at snookers and gamble all night somewhere, either in there or go to the bars and drink for, it was nothing but pool, nothing. And then when snookers would close, we would drive to Boston to the bowling alley because they were open 24 hours, and we just to watch the action. And these guys were animals in there. It's, just to step up and play, you had to have $1,000, and this is, just these guys were just straight up animals. And, and I mean, we had what, Ray Mack was the house pro, Joe Tucker, you know, and Billy the Kid. You know, Billy the Kid was a little kid back then. It was amazing, and this, you know, destroying everybody. And so we had a lot of animals, and then we had Nelson Oliveira from Fall River coming in, like just he come in with a sneaky Pete, this little stick, and so unassuming, and just destroy everyone. And then the dudes from New York would get Ginky coming in, and Tony Robles and Frankie Hernandez. They'd come in for the big Ocean State, you know, tournaments, and they were literal rock stars. They were rock stars, and they had such a presence about them, and I just was so impressed with these guys. And I worked very hard to try to become those guys. And, you know, at 95, I won a 48 player event. It was a New England event at Snookers, but it was a fee event. I wasn't playing Ray Mack and, you know, Joe Tucker. I was playing, you know, just below them. And I ended up winning there. And it was the best pool I ever played in my life. And I was like, feeling it was, I never felt anything like it. And then a couple months later, I moved to Amsterdam, and I didn't play pool for 20 years.
Yeah, a couple months later, you realized you needed a job.
Yeah, well, just insane. But yes,
like all of us.
Huh?
Like all of us, I realized I should have had a job 2 months after I started playing.
Yeah, I told Ray Mack, I said, Ray, I'm going to Amsterdam. He goes, this is something you could make money on. And I was like, well, I hope so. And you know, and even that summer, even Steven met the owner of Snookers. Steve came out, and Ray Andrews and Steve met me out there in Amsterdam, and spent a couple of weeks out there, I believe. Him and Ray. Yeah, Steve Goulding is a very fun man, and he was a great owner. And Regina, I mean, they were great owners. And you know, they would, you know, Ray Mack would give me the VHS tapes with you know, the AccuStats. Go home and stick it in the VCR, and you know, Strickland, Evan Reyes, you know, Alan Hopkins, David Howard, like all these amazing matches. And I'm listening to Grady Matthews like commentate, and I'm learning so much just from the commentating. And I'm like, what? It was amazing, man. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Nothing excites me more in life than pool. I will say that.
Lucky you. I love it. I love it. Me too. I used to go to Snookers. That was one of my stops on the road. The Northeast wasn't really huge on the map when we were on the road. It was always the real South was crazy. The bookmakers, everything. But I went through there several times. I'll never forget that room. We had a good time in that room.
Which one? The original Snookers or the second one?
30 years ago.
So the original one on the second floor.
Yeah, on the second floor.
Yeah. That's
very.
That was
I won't forget. Yeah, and I've been to millions of them, but yeah, it was a fun room.
I consider myself lucky just to be, you know, I was blessed to have that as, you know, where my stomping grounds, where I was learning how I learned to play pool. There was so many inspirational people in there, and it was amazing.
Yeah, Joe, I want to talk about a couple of those people actually. And, you know, you guys obviously watch the show. Scott and I always talk about this, the characters in pool, right? We need the characters in pool. You brought up a couple of them, right? Now, Billy the Kid, he grew up in a half an hour from my town. He used to play at Chicago Billiards at 12, 13 years old. And everybody used to be like, you got to see this kid. Billy the Kid is going to be the next superstar, right?
Yeah.
About who else did you say was there?
Frankie Hernandez and George and
Tony Robles, and Rodney Morris. Rodney Morris came through there.
I used to do business with Billy the Kid. We used to bet on each other, and again,
Billy likes to gamble.
Yeah,
Billy liked to gamble. Yeah.
So does Scott.
He passed away a little while ago.
Yeah. And Ginky too. And Ginky, he would, you know, he'd come down, and I don't know how many, you know, Ocean State tournaments he won. He had, you know, banners all over the place in Snookers. He was unstoppable, unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable. Another one passed away too young, but what a character to the game he was, and Billy and all those guys. Great stuff. And you can see it in your smile, Joe, when you talk about it. Like you just talk about the past and the career of those guys and just following through. That's awesome. We love to see that.
Yeah.
Now, Steve, you're in Amsterdam with Joe. What's going on there? You're not playing pool. You guys are just hanging out, right? You just kind of met each other at that point, right?
Yeah, we're trying to make our way. Just at we really don't know what we're doing. We kind of over there with he's over there with a group of people from Rhode Island. I'm over there from a group of people in Albany, New York, and we end up just meeting each other. And then, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a good pool player. I'm a
I
golfer.
love that. I love
Yep.
that.
I'm a golfer. I love playing pool. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
I'm not a very good pool player, and I can be. That's the thing. And Joey will tell you, I'm the type of person that if I put my mind to it, I'm gonna put it to you, at some time. And I'm starting to. It's nice because I'm starting to work on that part now. But Joey and I meeting each other there, it was so inspirational watching him play. And then we would rent these, like he said, these private pool rooms, and we would play. I mean, we would rent the rooms for 4-6 hours straight and just play. I mean, I can rack a set of balls like nobody's business, man. I'm
He
telling
gets
you.
them tight. Hey,
Oh
he does
yeah,
get them
man.
tight.
Look, hey, I'll tell you what. Tommy made he made the 9-ball 2 times in a row, ran a rack on me, and then made the 9-ball 2 times in a row on the break after that. So he made 4 9
4 out of 5?
balls. He made 4 9-balls out of 5 racks. That's how good I rack them. Tommy who, right?
I will tell you, you might have accidentally had a little gap. If there's a gap,
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, but to be able to spend that time with Joey and watch him play pool look, that inspired me.
Yeah.
It's like someday I want to play, someday I want to play pool like that, or I want to be Joey, right?
Yeah.
And I learned how to do that. Was the same thing with golf. I started golf. Everybody told me you need to go bowling. You're so bad. But I had a couple friends that were really good golfers, and I always wanted to beat them. And now I do. It's just one of those things. And now pool is the same way. Besides, I'm inspired by the sport, the athletes in it, the people in it, as you guys. So and I think that I'm gonna end up being able to stand on my own around a pool table and hold
Oh,
my own.
easily. And just let me add on that. I think you Steven started playing golf at 35 years old, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And you
Okay.
became a scratch golfer within 5 years, was it?
It took me about 7 years, but
7
Wow.
years. Yeah.
You
Starting
should be.
golf at 35 and becoming a scratch golfer within.
That's
So I come back from Amsterdam and he takes me golfing. And I grew up playing golf. I was number 1 in my high school. I was, I'm like, dude, I'm going to spank this kid.
It's gonna be like a pool table.
He destroyed me. Couldn't believe this. Straight down just down the middle, on the green. So boring. He's
it's
just so
boring.
Down the middle,
hate
on
playing
the
golf with me.
green, putting for birdie. Like just so boring, right?
Yeah.
Go in the woods for once and make it a little exciting. But he's a boring golfer like that. But yeah, amazing. And I see within, I would say, and I told him I think this last night. I think within probably 2 years. He's gonna be a force on the pool table. It's not gonna take him long because he's starting to really get into it and starting to understand things. And once he puts that effort in, there's nothing gonna stop him.
awesome.
So,
Yeah, it sounds like that's what you guys are doing. Hilltop Promotions as well, doing
Yeah.
big things. You mentioned Steven and Joe. You mentioned you guys go out in a couple hours, you win and you gamble. How do you feel about this match? Right, there's going to be a lot of gambling on the side of this match, right?
Yes.
People are going to be Fedor, Shane. There's people love Shane, the second to none,
Good.
right? Do you foresee a lot of action on this match, or do you think you're going to see a lot of it?
absolutely. And that's why we were adamant about the contract and about no funny business, no splitting, no nothing. We want to make this where, you know, the people, the worst is if people are betting on something and then it gets a little funny, you know,
Yeah.
and that's the last thing that's going to happen here.
Well, it would never, I promise you it would never happen between Shane and Federer ever anyway. I know that. But
I agree. I agree.
but just to be safe, it's always nice and I'm glad I mentioned the contract to Stephen and you two talked about it, because I feel like, and so the sponsors know, outside sponsors, this is just a contract for this match. It's not a freaking 3-year contract that these guys are
It's a
worried
single
about.
match.
There's no conflict of interest there. But
Yeah,
I
and
also there is going to be big money bet, guys. John Mars is coming, a longtime friend of mine. John Mars is Shane's dedicated stake horse, and then I know that Federer's side is going to be there, and I also know that Federer just mentioned it on his live the other day, so I kind of counteracted it, wished him happy birthday as well. But I knew when we put this together that it will fire off. We will.
It's got legs of its own.
I'll mention this. So we thought that initially the table was 4.5 because they're a little tricky to measure the pockets. Then we thought it was 4.25. I haven't been on site. And then we figured out if you measure a certain part of the pocket, it's a little tricky. But my point to that is that I called Federer and Shane to make sure they were okay with it being 4.25. Now we're confirmed it's 4.5, which is fine. But when talking to Shane, I said, hey, because he likes it. Everybody knows this. If you don't, now. When he used to play his races to 100, his races to 120, he had a standard. If you wanted to play Shane Van Boning, you had to play in 4.5-inch pockets and fairly new cloth, and with a certain set of pool balls. And so I called him and I said, hey, I apologize, but we just figured out that this table is probably 4.25. And he immediately said, no problem. I'm going to be playing a lot of pool.
That says a lot about him.
It does. And I think that I think that, listen, if John Mars is involved, there's going to be money bet, real money bet. And we want that. We want that.
Yeah, I think Bobby's right. I mean, and we really do anticipate there's going to be a lot of action on the side, and we encourage it. Well, we have nothing to do with it, and we have no responsibility to it, but we encourage it because that really gets fun when that starts to happen. So, good point, Bobby.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And like you said, the contracts and stuff. But like you said, I mean, any kind of funny business is out of the way because 20,000 to the winner to stay on. Like you said, 100,000, you have a chance to make 100,000. And then again, I know they're already the top players, but still to be, I mean, everybody's going to want to be the top guy at Hilltop for a little while. They're going to want to be 2-3 times. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Bobby, and let me expound on that because it's a good point. And I don't know if I should be talking about it, but I can never not. And I mentioned this to Scott before, and Scott and I have talked about it, is, it's the pool world and kind of the pool industry, like getting Vegas odds on pool players is impossible because Vegas doesn't trust pool players, right? They can be in coercion with each other and do certain things. Well, I think, that's one reason why we started this first match. And Scott's right. We have no doubt that Federer and SVB are just going to try to beat the hell out of each other, right? And there's none of that. But by doing contracts with them and starting the process out, and everybody that we do business with contracts, we feel that there may be an opportunity down the line where we can get some odds out of, some Vegas betting. It's kind of a big industry. And it wouldn't be bad to see the pool world to be able to tap into it. But Vegas won't touch us at this point. But I think there's an opportunity if there's legitimate matches with contracts and things like this there may be an opportunity later for that to happen. So it's a long-term vision of Joey and I. We talked about it previously, and Scott and I have talked about it. We don't know if it'll ever happen, but it's worth pursuing.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's great, and if that does happen, that would change the whole demographic. Now you got people betting on it that will bet because they bet on anything, and would definitely get a whole nother level of people watching that maybe wouldn't have. You know,
So there you go. It grows pool.
It blows the sport up. It blows the sport up is what it does.
Yeah, so we kind of feel like that may be an opportunity. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Matchroom, you know, I was telling when Steve and I were talking about it, Matchroom has, they do have at times Bet365 or Bet365 and BetSmith, some betting sites in Europe is very common. But what they do over there is they just keep the limits, you know, the limits where it's not worth it for a player to really make a move, right? They're not putting prices at the start of the event where this player's at 60-1 the money and everybody just happens to bet 5,000 on him and intentionally lose. So this guy wins and everybody gets rich. They're not going to do something like that. And I don't think Vegas would do something like that either because they're smart. But I do think that there's a chance that they would open it up down the road and let people place wagers on the match.
I believe so, because Vegas is a land of opportunity, right?
Yes.
They're not going to say no.
No.
They're not going to say no. All right, let's talk about Hilltop again a little bit. Obviously, it can change a little bit already to your vision. What is your vision of Hilltop for you guys going the next year or so after this match? And we talked about the women, we talked about the seniors, but what do you guys see? You know, maybe sponsors, maybe not. You know, matches every couple months. Do you have any details, or what are you thinking in the future?
We would like to be able to, maybe even if it's us or, you know, the viewers and the people choose the next winner of the King of the Hill and try to at least get that on the books of who's going to play the winner of this first match. We'd like to see that by the end of the year. And also to do one Legends match this year and have possibly a winner of that booked for the following year. So that's we're taking it slow. We're gonna see what this looks like and how it works out for us. But that's what we see for finishing this year out, going into next year.
I love it. Can I just touch on it real quick, if you guys don't mind? I love it. I think taking it slow is the right move, and I love what you're talking about, the schedule, because it doesn't put pressure on us or you. And we know that everybody's schedule is so difficult. So just to get Federer and Shane with guests like Bobby and Dave and Ivan and Shane's crew and Federer's crew, it's not easy. It's not easy. And we don't, or you guys don't, we're a family. We don't want to compete with anybody else. We're not trying to conflict with anybody else. So I think that's a great plan, Steven.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Yeah, and I agree. This isn't a competition. We're not trying to compete with the match rooms or the other promoters out there. This is very personal to us doing it, and with just like you said, with the team and the family that we have and we're developing now, it's gonna be nice this way, kind of taking it at this pace.
Yeah, and don't forget, Joshua Filler, the fans chose you to play the winner.
Let me work on that, guys. Let me work on that.
Yeah, all right.
Well, I think after the show airs, he's going to get a lot of DMs. I'm just thinking out there. He's going to get a lot.
He's already gotten a DM. Don't worry.
Well, good.
Senior definitely going to be. You think you're going to try to get Efren versus Tom? Is that what we want to do? Absolutely, the first round.
I'd love to see that. I think Joey agrees also.
It's looking like it, yes.
That's pretty cool. Beautiful.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be fantastic. All right, guys. I think that's all I got, Scott. What else you got? You got anything else with these wonderful guys?
No, I think the most important thing was to get the public to understand who they are, where they come from, what their goals are, and what our goals are, because it's become a big part of my life as well. Believe it or not, I put quite a bit into this. It's more than I ever dreamed, and I'm enjoying it. And I think that that's the key, is to have fun. Steven's talked about that. Joey's talked about that. And I think if you can have fun doing something, then it's not work, right? And when this happens, I'll say this. I hope you guys don't mind. I just hit my mind. I'm launching something, and I have the blessing of Joey and Steven. I'm launching Unshakable Performance, and it's something that I have been working on since 2017. And I'm so excited to have a part of that. But to be a part of it and be in the commentary booth that Steven is building on that property, which is a big glass freaking booth that Carl and I'll be in, it'll be special. It'll be a special time, because I know this is just the beginning.
Yeah, we're so proud of being able to offer you that opportunity. Also, putting all that time in, that hard work, and be able to launch that during that stream with those players and that type of viewing opportunity. It just makes total sense to us.
I'm grateful. I appreciate you both. I thank you guys so much for allowing me to do that. That was never even planned. I was driving down the road, and you guys know me. The minute I think of something or I know something, immediately I feel like that's the right way to do it. And yeah, I just let you know, and it hit me, and I'm like, shoot, that would be an amazing time to be able to launch this. And
this is how this whole journey has been, just like that. Just everything's just falling into place, and it's looking better and better every day. It's beautiful.
Grateful. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Well, you're so welcome. Thank you for having us. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, thank you, Bobby, and thank you, Scott. This is you guys are great.
Yeah, and Bobby, I know we're grateful. We're grateful for them being the partner of our show.
It definitely means a lot. And Scott and I talked about it, from day one, before he got the light up there, when you guys are part of it. He said, you guys called me and and he was really into it. And then I got to meet you guys, and you guys are super special. I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do to the sport. I really can't wait.
I'm looking forward to meeting you guys in person at this event, man. This is going to be a special event, and it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody.
Thank you both very much.
All right. You guys have a great evening.
You too.
Guys.
Thank you, guys.